Hi, it's Jennifer here. I'm going to tell you a little bit about iridology today, what it is, how it can be useful for you in your health journey, and a little bit about the science of iridology so you have a better understanding of if you would like to do an iridology assessment. I think it's a fascinating science. I think the eye reveals a lot about what's going on inside the body. More than the window to the soul, I do believe that the eyes are the window to health. And this is not a new science. It's been around for more than 2,000 years. There is evidence that in China and India and Egypt, up to 2,000 years ago, they were recognizing certain health conditions related to what they saw in the eye. They could clearly see patterns of it. Iridology became a modern science in the late 1800s. In Budapest, Hungary, of all places, and there was a doctor called Ignaz von Pesly. He was the doctor that formalized iridology into a modern science. He dedicated his career to mapping out some of the early charts of the eyes. I got into iridology myself when I was very sick on my health journey in Australia. I had an undiagnosed itchy rash that covered my body from head to toe for 2.5 years. I went to every doctor. I went to Chinese doctors. I meditated. I did yoga. I tried every herbal supplement, every cream there was. It was basically out of pure desperation that I finally went to iridology. I thought to myself, well, here's someone else trying to take money from me. I've been sick for 2 years. What do I have to lose? And that's honestly how I went into it. I was very skeptical. When I went for my first session, my background is an environmental systems engineer. So I look at everything, very scientifically, and I was quite unsure about this so-called science. When I went for my session in Australia to a certified iridologist, I was amazed. I told her nothing. I did not fill out any forms in advance, and I was amazed at the things that she saw in my eyes. And I knew that there was something to this. And actually, some of the information she gave me led me to do an elimination diet, which wound up healing me of my rash when I was able to determine that the cause was from a food additive. So, because of my experience with iridology being a turning point in my healing journey, I thought more people need to know about this, and we need to get this science back out in the world. And I was also curious to understand how it worked. So I studied it. I took an international iridology practitioner course, and I became certified, and I started using it as a tool to work with clients about 6 years ago in Koh Samui, Thailand, where I was working at various detox resorts. And people were very, very pleased with the results. Instead of taking shots in the dark with different supplements or different approaches, I could look in their eyes and I could say, this is exactly what's going on. And the reason why you're having this skin condition is not because there's a problem in the skin. It's because your colon is toxic, or because your liver is stressed, or because your kidneys are weak. And we were always able to look at the body as a whole, which made them feel better, that they could understand their body better, and it made me feel better because I knew I was giving them real information that could help them. So it's never my decision to say what you do with the information that I give you in an iridology assessment, but I will certainly recommend a natural whole food plant-based diet and certain types of detox if you're interested in doing that. Let me show you a few photos so you can see there's actually a lot of detail in the eyes when you look up close. Most people never see this. This is not a true brown eye, by the way. This is what we call mixed eye color in iridology. And in iridology, we look at the fiber structure. We also look at the color. We look at the areas of pigmentation. We look at the pupil size and shape. We look at the sclera, the white of the eye. There's a lot of information that's revealed. Some of it is inherent strength and weakness, so we can see what the person is born with in terms of strength or weakness. And then some of it is diet and lifestyle accumulation. This is an interesting eye. This is a true brown eye. It's called hematogenic subtype eye color in iridology. It's not often to see true brown velvet eyes. A lot of people have this, which is a mixed eye color. So they call their eye brown, but in iridology it's not a true brown. In the science of iridology, we only have true brown and true blue. The other eyes are either blue with yellow on it, which makes green, or like this, mixed eye color. This is what we call Biliary Constitution. A person with this type of eye has natural inherent weakness in liver gallbladder. Right away, we know to look at the liver gallbladder in their eye, and we need to understand if there's any added stress from the diet and lifestyle that's making those organs weaker. This is what we call a lymphatic constitution. This person has natural inherent weakness in the lymphatic system. Usually they suffer from mucus-related conditions. That can be asthma, bronchitis, it can be skin afflictions, it can be allergies, sensitivities to food and environment. Later in life, they can have higher risk for asthma and or autoimmune type disorders. This is a very similar eye as well. The color has a lot of meaning, so what color it is has a lot of meaning. If it's orange or yellow or brown, where it's located has meaning. And yes, the eyes do change. So some people ask me, well, Jennifer, if they're using laser technology to identify irises now, how does the eye change? Well, I think that is a good question. And from my experience, the color in the eye can change. So when someone goes on to a high raw food diet or a lot of detox, we'll see a lot of this accumulation of color diminish. We won't often see it go away. In some cases we will, but we'll definitely see it diminish. But what we don't see change is the fiber structure. So if you think about the grains in a wood that give that wood a certain density, those grains don't change. You can paint the wood, you can strip the wood, you can stain the wood, but those grains stay the same, and I believe that's what they're using in the laser technology. I don't know for sure because I don't have time to research that. To be honest, I'm busy with clients all day long, but that's my understanding of it. So this is the main iris chart that I use. This is from Dr. Bernard Jensen. I learned iridology from his daughter, Ellen Tart Jensen. And as you can see, all of the parts of the body are mapped out in the eye. And so using this chart, which I don't really need to use anymore after doing this full-time for 6 years, I know when I look, at a left eye at, let's say, 8 p.m., I know what to expect there. I know what organ to look for. Or the right eye at 3 p.m., I know what to look for there. And I know what types of things to look for if there are problems. It's very important to be clear that iridology does not diagnose disease. Legally, only a medical doctor can diagnose a disease. Legally, only a medical doctor can advise you to go on or off a drug. So those are things that I cannot do and I don't do in an assessment. What I do is I explain what's happening in the whole body. So if there's stress in one area, if there's deficiency in another area, if the circulation is weak, if the lymphatic system is sluggish, if the brain function looks a bit foggy, if the digestive system is weak, if there is toxicity in a certain area of the body, I can see that. If there's a tendency for heavy metal accumulation, I can see that. If the skin as an organ is weak, I can see that. And what we do during the reading is we put all of that information together and try to figure out why the client is experiencing the results that they have based on that information and how we can use that to strengthen the weaker areas to get them feeling better. And it really works. So I think it's a fascinating science. I think usually all of my clients are very pleased with the reading. They usually say, that it was very honest and they appreciated that. I don't sugarcoat anything. I'm not here to judge anyone. I'm here to tell you what I see in the eye because I believe the body is trying to speak to you with that information. So I use that as my role. If you want to choose Western medicine as a result of having an iridology assessment, that's okay with me. I support whatever your decision is. If you want to eat meat and you're not willing to change that, I support it. We work around it. If you still smoke or you have a drug problem, we work around those things. Instead of saying, oh, you're a lost cause because you smoke and you do drugs, I can't help you. No, that's not true. We can put that person on a very high antioxidant diet. We can do everything we can to keep the liver strong so they don't get weak while they're living that lifestyle. If we say they're a lost cause, they're only going to get more and more deficient, more and more weak immune system, and then they're going to get sick later. So that's not what I want. I want to try to help everyone wherever they are in their journey and help them get one step further than where they are, and then another step, and another step, and another step. Usually when I do an iridology assessment, I basically can give you 1 year of work from a 1-hour session. And it's your choice if you want to do all of that work or not. Some of my clients decide they want to see me every 6 weeks, they want to check in, they want to do further sessions, not necessarily with eye photos again, but just to assess their health as a result of what we discussed. And if people want to do that, I give them a 20% discount off the price of the iridology session. It's really up to you. Even with one session, I give you a lot of work. So I don't try to hook you in for more sessions. I really leave it up to you. And I think that's the most fair and professional thing to do from someone with my role. So the way it works when you do a session online is you email me photos of your iris. We do not look in the Skype camera to try to see this level of clarity. I need you to take photos yourself, and I need you to email them to me first, and then I approve them. After that, we schedule time to meet. Now, sometimes people don't take clear photos. Sometimes they try to take the picture themselves and the camera moves so it's blurry. Sometimes I get a picture of a nose or a cheek, and I have to email them back and say, hey, we need to try again. I do give you instructions when you pay for the session on how to take the iris photos. Sometimes I can piece together what I need out of a few photos, so I don't need to have one perfect photo all the time. If you give me 3 or 4 photos of each eye, I can usually work with that. If I see there's a problem with lighting or clarity or whatever, I will email you back and I will tell you, try to face sideways to the window and not facing the window. There's too much glare. Try to do it during daylight so the flash isn't just shining back from the eye. Try to open your eye all the way. Don't look over here or over here. You need to look straight in the camera so I can get a clear photo. Those are all things that I explain in further emails, and I'm very patient to help you through that process. So that's all that is involved in an online iridology session. Once we schedule time to meet, I actually record the call with video recording software, so you get a copy of our session. And I also send you an action list follow-up email, so you don't have to worry about taking too many notes during the session. It's a lot of information that we're packing in to an hour and 20 minutes. And I don't want anyone to feel stressed about having to remember it all. So you have the video recording. I send you an action list as a follow-up email afterwards. You have up to 2 months to contact me by email with questions, and I don't charge you more for that. I'm really generous with my time because I want to see people get better. I don't want anyone to take the long road to health, which is what I did in my healing journey. I want to try to help people get there faster and to get real results. And that's why I've dedicated my life to doing what I do, and I really stand behind what I'm doing. And my goal is to have happy, healthy clients. So I hope you're one of them next. Thanks a lot. See ya. Bye.